Hello, welcome back to my channel this week. Today I'm taking you guys through my spaghetti recipe that I am just in love with right now. I meal prep it to make about 6 servings and it lasts me all week. It's delicious, it tastes fantastic reheated, and it also doesn't require homemade sauce. Of course, if you're like me and you want to meal prep this, you will need meal prep containers, square ones and rectangle ones. Next, you'll need a set of prep bowls. Of course, you're going to need a strainer. You'll need a cutting board. I like a small one for this because there's not too much cutting involved. You'll need a knife. I like a nice santoku for just vegetables. I think it makes it nice and quick. You will also want some sort of rag or paper towels to wet and hold your cutting board into place so it's not moving on you. A pot to cook your spaghetti in. If you're cooking a full box, you're gonna want a bigger pot. We're only cooking half a box today. And then a skillet. I like a nice big skillet. Like I mentioned, this is a very simple recipe, so there's not a lot involved. Whatever your preferred pasta sauce is. It does not need to be chunky. It can be just plain canned pasta sauce if you want. I like the black olives and capers because I think it's a good addition. Then of course you'll need your pasta. I love this Barilla Protein Plus pasta right now. I have the thin spaghetti. It's the only one I've tried, but I would definitely recommend it. I'm excited to eventually try all the other ones. An onion, mine's pretty big. I typically try to go for smaller ones. This was about the smallest I could find the day I went to H-E-B. If you can only find big ones like me and you don't want to use a whole thing, use as much or as little as you would like. Some garlic. I'll probably just go ahead and finish these cloves off because there's like 4 of them. Green bell pepper. I like to use green. Honestly, any other color minus yellow would kind of get lost in it, but green is honestly just so much cheaper. Fresh tomatoes, grape or cherry tomatoes like I have. You can also use bigger tomatoes, cut them up into big chunks. I just find grape tomatoes is just easy. And of course, we will need ground beef, turkey, chicken, whatever your preference is. This would also be good with like sausage. I've done it with sausage before and it's really good, like Italian sausage. Next, we're gonna set up our station to cut our vegetables and I'm gonna get the meat in the pot. I have the meat in the pot. I am going to just turn it on. I like to do it on medium personally. We're gonna start with the bell pepper. Just washed it. You'll know I'm not lying because the cutting board's gonna start getting wet. Personally, I like to go straight down the middle like so. Undo that part and pull out the seeds. Hopefully y'all can see that well. Some people do think these pieces right here are bitter. If you are one of those people, then feel free to pull it on out and then just tap it to get the rest of the seeds out. Make sure we did a good job. We're just gonna cut them. I personally like to do a small dice. Of course, if you do it smaller, it'll also go farther. And because I'm cooking at home and not for people or in a fancy setting or anything, I really don't care that it's a kind of messy, oopsies, well, guess Claire gets up. That's a kind of messy dice. These are honestly a little bit bigger than I would typically go, but it's fine. I'm gonna give the meat a stir and then we'll do the onion. I don't think I need to tell you guys how to cook ground beef. Break it up, give it a flip, break it up some more. I like it on medium high because it doesn't take too long to cook this way, but it doesn't cook so fast that it's hard for me to dice up my vegetables. Next for the onion, just take off that piece so you still have the booty on there and just peel it. I'm not going to be too picky about this. I'm just going to go ahead and just do a very simple dice like so. Cut out that root, little triangle to make sure that I get it all. We are back to the meat. Next, we're going to do garlic. I'm going to separate them all so they're all separate. And we're going to cut off this little piece and then pull up, and you'll have, and then from there, you should just be able to pretty easily pop it out. We're gonna make very easy minced garlic. You're gonna want a nice flat knife with a good width to it, like a santoku. You're gonna place the garlic on the bottom side. You are hitting it with right here. Don't move your hand. It is a straight up and down. I like to do it on the edge so that where my hand can actually have the handle off, so it's completely safe. Put it down, and you have some minced garlic. It doesn't look like it yet, but we'll do this for the other ones. You could leave it like so if you wanted to, or you can just mince it, chop it up a little more. We're gonna take this and put this into a bowl. So the meat is now completely cooked. It's beautiful. We're gonna pull it off. To this pan, we're gonna add olive oil, a good healthy portion, and then we're gonna add our onion and bell pepper. Give that a stir so that it all gets coated in with the olive oil, and we're gonna let that cook down a good amount. And I'm gonna stir it throughout us, kind of finishing up the prep. This is also the stage that I like to start my pasta water, so I'm gonna get pasta water going, and then add whatever your version of a healthy portion of salt to your water is. Add that. We're gonna take these tomatoes and just half them, and we're gonna add them into this bowl because they'll be going in at the same time. I have tried it both ways, where you don't cut the tomatoes and you cut them in half, and I can say the half works a little bit better. I find they just take almost too long when you don't half them. You might be wondering how I'm going to get this box in half. It's very simple. It's a method called weighing. This box is 411 grams right here. So I'm just gonna go about 205. This is just the easiest way to cut it in half, in my opinion. Now I have my pasta ready to drop in the pot whenever it's ready. Onions and bell peppers are basically done. A little bit more brown than I really want them to get, but I mean, sometimes it happens when you're multitasking. This is when we throw in our tomatoes and our garlic. Give those a stir, and we're just gonna cook this until the tomatoes quote unquote burst. And I will throw my pasta in whenever the water is at a rolling boil. You can see everything is really well cooked. You can see the tomatoes are really falling apart. We're gonna turn the heat down to like a little bit less than like medium low. I'm gonna add back in my ground beef. Just give that a stir. You can already see how delicious that looks. I'm gonna give it a healthy portion of pepper and salt. Don't need to go as crazy on the salt because there is gonna be a bunch in the pasta water. And believe it or not, that does make a difference in how your pasta tastes. And I'm gonna add dried basil. If you wanna add fresh, add fresh. And the last thing is my pasta sauce. We're gonna dump this entire container in there. Throw some water in the jar. It's not gonna hurt it. Give her a shake to get the remaining chunk out. We're gonna give this a stir. Mix all this stuff in. Look at how good this looks. Look at all of that. There's plenty of sauce. It's just very chunky, very hearty. I love this. This is what I want out of a pasta sauce. I'm gonna let that simmer, boil my pasta, and then combine it, and I will see you guys at that point. I have my pasta here. I'm just gonna get majority of it into my pan. I like to let the sauce simmer while the pasta's cooking. You could technically just turn it off if you wanted to. You don't have to let it simmer. I'm just gonna give this a good mix. You can fully drain the pasta if you would like. It doesn't seem like there's enough sauce. I promise you guys, it's plenty of sauce. So now we have this delicious pasta that just looks so freaking good. Like, tell me that doesn't look good. The reason I don't throw out the water at this point is I like to get a feel on whether or not it's thin enough. I am gonna add just a little bit of water and then just mix that in. Next, I'm gonna take all of my containers and just set them out. If you're not meal prepping this, you can skip this step, of course. I just like to show how I do meal prep too. And then I'm gonna take the bulk of the spaghetti, of the noodles, of the pasta, sorry, they're not noodles, and portion them about even into each container. And then I'll start divvying up everything else. This is the final result. We have 6 containers. These are good size servings. My hand for reference. It fills me up and I just top it with either butter. Right now I like that I can't believe I'm not butter spray. I think that's fantastic. That is it. That is my favorite spaghetti recipe that I'm currently hyper fixated on. The last thing I will do is just pop these guys into the fridge. Once they are completely cooled down, I will put all of the lids on them and stack them up, and then I have meal prep for the week. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed sharing it with you. If you like more videos like this, then feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more stuff like this, feel free to check out my channel for more. I don't have a lot of recipe content, but possibly in the future. If you want to see what other kind of content I have, then feel free to check out my channel as well. I always appreciate it. As per usual, if you want to start a conversation in the comments below or introduce yourself, then feel free. We would love to have you as a part of our friendos. And I will see you guys in the next one.